Hi, welcome back to my garden. A few weeks ago, if you've been paying attention to my videos, if you're one of my avid viewers, subscribers, like, you might have been waiting desperately for me to post something yesterday. Because I built it up really today. Curious quirk of the calendar. In a leap year, my birthday, 7th of March, yesterday, coincides with the start of the final 300 days of the year. And I have not been averse in the past to these multi-day challenges, 30 days, 100 days. And so a few weeks ago, I posed the question, would a 300-day challenge be in order? Well, it's just as well that I didn't go down that road, because that would have been the most ignominious of defeats, tragic, hilarious even, to start a 300-day challenge and to fail literally on day one. I mean, think about it. To say I'm going to do something every day and fail to do it at the very first hurdle, the very first moment, that would have been sad. But I haven't totally abandoned the significance of the number 300. Again, if you know me well, you know that I like these curious sort of number relationships. And 300 is a very neat number and fits in quite nicely with what I have in mind and I'm going to share with you in this video. But I think it is worth saying, or expanding a little bit more about the problem with the 100-day, 30-day, 300-day challenge. The idea behind them, first of all, is clear, that you set yourself a challenge and for a limited period of time, you make a big effort, but that period of time is long enough to cement, form a meaningful, durable habit. I mean, that's the objective behind it. The other is, certainly in terms of the 100-day challenge, is that if you do something for 100 days consistently, for example, draw a new picture every day, a 100-day drawing challenge, well, after 100 days, you will see interesting results. And I've referenced this before. There's a fantastic TEDx talk about a guy who does just that, and with amazing results. And he goes from being a want-to-be artist to a professional illustrator. And it really made a difference for him. So that's the temptation to undergo such a challenge. But the problem is highlighted precisely by my stupendous fail on day one. Not really a fail, because I never set out to do something every day for 300 days, but it would have been a fail. You see what I mean? Because the point is that there are days where things don't just quite work out. Take yesterday, for example. It was my birthday, and it was a wonderful day. I don't regret a moment that I spent, and the biggest accomplishment wasn't actually something that I did. It was watching someone do something. A long-term project that I have involves building an enormous welded metal structure, something that would test and probably break my limited welding skills. But Mauricio came and produced exactly what I was wanting, And I was very, very happy about that. And I sort of basked in the joy of the day. Why not? Had a really nice glass of wine with lunch, and then a rather long sleep. It was a really good day, so I'm not going to apologize for that. What to do if you're doing a 130, 300 day challenge? Well, you could perhaps modify the idea and start going for the idea of the streak. And in a lot of application gamifications, they play on this idea that you try and set your new record streak, and you might fail one day, but then pick yourself up the next day and keep on going. Or another way around the problem of the challenge sort of concept is to begin with something truly minuscule and unavoidable. The American psychology researcher B.J. Fogg, his Tiny Habits, and another famous TED talk where he explains how you build up a flossing habit by flossing just one tooth. Of course, you have a basic trigger for that. You floss the one tooth, and that is success. But having flossed one, very often one becomes two, and slowly your one tooth a day flossing habit actually morphs into something more meaningful. But without the stress of a commitment that is hard to keep. And I've kind of been thinking about all these ideas, and this time round, for the rest of this year, I'm going to modify that kind of habit building idea in this way. Rather than suggest that I'm going to do something for 300 consecutive days, I'm simply going to keep track of a few simple, but I suspect crucial habits that I want to build up. And my target is to do them 300 times this year. So, having missed yesterday, perhaps missing today as well, because it's Friday, and who knows, maybe at the end of the day I'll go for a birthday beer. It was raining yesterday evening, but I always liked the birthday beer tradition. And perhaps then a second day will slip by. But as long as the habits are small enough, I can tick off habits 1 and 2 and 3 all in one go. And I think this also has or resonates with me in a deeper sort of way, because it connects to the idea of constructing something. I think the problem with doing something every day is you may over time construct something truly extraordinary. One more story that I've told on this channel, the tale of Will Shortz. You might be aware of who Will Shortz is, maybe not. If you're a crossword fan, an American, you'll certainly know who I'm talking about. In fact, not just crosswords, puzzles in general. But he is I think, was the lead composer of crosswords for the New York Times. And he made a little video where he talks about his other great accomplishment in life. He loves playing table tennis, ping pong. And he is in the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest run, consecutive days, playing ping pong. And it's many years, I think thousands of days in a row. And it's a great achievement. But it's not clear how 300 days of ping pong, besides being impressive, 300 consecutive days, or 1,000 consecutive days, it's not clear how that has necessarily moved you forward. So the habits that I'm thinking about need to be things where the habit itself is, in a sense, incremental. And I use that word a lot on this channel. The idea of developing things, a mastery process, and doing it every day where the objective is to slowly build up something. Now that is interesting. So one of the things that I would like to do this year is I would like to make 3 drawings. And I think there needs to be, if the drawings are to be meaningful, they need to be more than just a scribble on a piece of paper. In the 100-day challenge approach, if I took out a piece of paper, did a blind contour drawing of my hand, wrote the date, it counted. But there was no real quality control there. So what I would like to do is do 300 drawings that are, at least in some degree, meaningful. And that kind of brings me up to a point that came out of Oliver Burkeman's email this week, where he talks about the value of committing to daily practice. And he references an article where the writer says that she commits to 15 minutes a day. And 15 minutes actually is enough to sit down and force yourself. Maybe what you write or draw isn't meaningful, but it is long enough where the possibility of something meaningful coming out of it actually exists. And 15 minutes is also interesting because the day is made up of 96 15-minute periods. 15 minutes is interesting because it's, for those interested in or followers, fans of the Pomodoro productivity scheme, 15 minutes is kind of the lowest level that you might set the clock. In that method, you set a clock, a timer for, say, 25 minutes. Force yourself, because 25 minutes just isn't that long, say if you're studying. But it is longer than 15 minutes. So 15 minutes seems to me a fairly handy time unit. It also fits in with how I track, measure my sculpture performance. So that is, that's the plan, to look at all the areas of my life where I want to accomplish things and set one activity that is doable in a meaningful way in 15 minutes and do it 300 times this year. And if I do it for an hour, that doesn't count for 4. That's a very good session. It's better than 15 minutes, but it is one session. So that is my plan. One of the things will be drawing. Another, I think, in terms of chess, will be recording the mistakes that I made in a game in my mistake log. Not sure if I do one game in 15 minutes, if it will take longer or less. I will have to see and work on that. So those are 2 of the things. There will be a few others. I think a third will be something like walk in my garden for 15 minutes. And if not in my garden, because it's raining the whole day, it might be watch the rain for 15 minutes. But that's it for this week. That's the challenge. It has started, but there is no pressure, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. I trust that your lives are filled with joy, that you're doing meaningful, interesting, amusing things. And until next week, from an intermittently sunny, sometimes very rainy Brazil,